Welcome, race fans. Week number 9 here in the Trinity Racing League. We are officially set to go racing tonight for race number 9 of Martinsville Speedway for the Don't Wreck My Ville Again 150. Drivers getting set for 150 laps of beating and banging out here this evening on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network every single Monday night. Welcome on out. And tonight I'm joined by my friend Chris Rose up here in the booth to help me call the action over the next 150 laps for this paperclip.
How you guys doing? Yeah, sorry about that, Tom. I thought your mic was off. But yeah, how you guys doing? Another night. Thank you for bringing me out again. It's gonna be some fun.
Absolutely. Drivers getting set to begin their qualifying here. Got just about 2 minutes remaining out in practice. Noah Steele, Brandon Gass, Nolan Hicks. That's how they currently run in opening practice here with about 2 minutes remaining. Chris, we come to Martinsville, and in a lot of ways it's kind of the first real short track that these drivers have seen. It was originally supposed to be Pocono Raceway, some updates to the Trinity Racing League schedule with the updates to the O'Reilly car drafting package, and drivers elected to come out here this week instead of Pocono. These drivers going to be looking for their first short track challenge of the season.
Yeah, Martinsville is a really difficult track. You got to be really, really precise and consistent the whole time, or else you're going to either cause issues or be in issues. So it's probably going to be a really fun race tonight for them.
Super easy to do, and I think we're going to see a lot of drivers getting sideways on the exit of turn number 2 and turn number 4. You got to protect that right rear, or you're going to find yourself getting sideways at the exit of the corners. We'll follow along one of these drivers here over the next minute or so that they have remaining in their open practice, and that's going to be Ryan Kelly, winner at Homestead just 2 weeks ago, one of the first-time winners in the Trinity Racing League. We'll see if Ryan's able to find victory lane again, or if maybe we get another first-time winner. Justin Campbell went to victory lane last week. Nolan Hicks a couple of weeks ago. Brandon Gass at the Red Bull Ring about 5 weeks ago in Austria. So I think this field is, I think this window is open for anybody in the field to find their way to victory lane here this evening.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be hungry, searching. It's probably going to be a little bit of aggression here as well, but it's really, like I said before, it's really setting up to be a fun race. Martinsville is always fun to watch, especially on iRacing.
Absolutely. Drivers making their final 20 seconds or so of final practice. They're going to be given a warm-up here, as is the standard here for the Trinity Racing League, and we'll follow some other drivers out on track here. But Noah Steele, Brandon Gass, Nolan Hicks, that's what it looks like it's going to end with practice coming to an end. Almost 100 laps of practice here for some of these drivers. Noah Steele, Noah Hicks, Josh Stovall has 96 laps of practice. So a lot of these drivers taking full advantage of this hour-long practice session to make the most of it and try to set themselves up for a good qualifying position. And speaking of qualifying, Barney has given us the checkered flag over practice, and it's about time we head on over to qualifying here.
Let's see who ends up heading out on track first. Hopefully they're going to be setting the pace for everyone.
Absolutely. Very, very fast qualifying times around here. Josh Sawyer on pit road. Dakota Moniz in the number 5, rolling off pit road, as is Ryan Bird, as is Brandon Gass. We're going to jump around here as fast as we can, but these laps are going to click off in a hurry. So drivers with about 19-second lap times in their practice session. So on board with the 5 of Dakota Moniz.
Ooh, Dakota overruns the corner just a little bit into turn 1. Probably just got caught out by the cold tires, but able to keep it gathered, get it going around the right way.
Going to take the long way around turns 3 and 4 for driver number 5 on lap number 1. Probably trying to put a little bit of heat in those tires as he's going to cross the start-finish line. Josh Sawyer, Ben Kinney currently sit at the top of the charts as more time starts to come in. Dakota Moniz, unsurprisingly, is slowest of drivers that have posted times yet, but this second lap's going to be a little bit better as Ryan Bird jumps to the top of the charts.
Ryan Bird putting down a solid 19.8 for the pole position. A decent what is that, 100th? Or no, sorry, 10th off the 57 of Walter, and seems to be very comfortable up there.
Nolan Hicks has jumped up to position number 2 as he completes his first lap. Aaron Krolick, 2 laps done and away. Good enough for 4th as it is right now. Scott Richter comes across the line as he finishes both of his laps. He's going to be currently in 7th. Brandon Gass going to jump over to 2nd place as we try to find other drivers beginning their qualifying time here. One of those drivers just rolled out of pit road. That's going to be Arie Fonseca in the 24.
Arie keeps it very clean through 1 and 2 there. Keeps it straight. Not really much wheel spin there. It's really what you want here. You want to be able to put the power down without getting the back end going.
Yeah, he's going to be off the pace on lap 1. Think he's probably just trying to put some heat in those tires. And now you hear the engine come to life on the front stretch here. Very short front stretch here. They're going to go from 4th down to 3rd, maybe even 2nd gear in the corners. We'll see what Arie is able to do first time by. 2 seconds off the pace. But new drivers out on track right now. Noah Steele just rolling out of pit road. We'll jump over to Noah here in just a moment. We're going to see where Ollie's able to jump to on lap number 2. Going to be good enough for 3rd as we go over to the 8 of Noah Steele.
You know, Noah's sporting a really nice Napa livery there. I like that chrome and orange. Looks really well as he takes that corner very, very nicely. Right up to the wall, looking for a great entry into 3. And he nails it.
You hear him having to play with the throttle and work the wheel on the exit of turn number 4. 2 laps done and away for Noah Steele. Looks like it's going to be 5th, make it 6th on the board for Noah Steele. Jump on over to Christopher Norris, who has abandoned his 2nd lap. Vincent Sora and the number 15 Ford Mustang. That's a name that we haven't seen out here in the Trinity Racing League too much this season, but Vincent comes back out here to try to find victory lane once again on a Monday night. 2nd time by for Sora, 3rd on the board. That's going to leave us with just a handful of drivers remaining. One of those is going to be the driver of the Toyota Supra, Cody Reed. 2 laps down for Cody Reed. Looks like 12th for him. Cedric Hunter in the number 7, another driver in a Supra out here. First time, 19th.
19th for that number 7 Hello Kitty machine. My favorite livery the other night that I was broadcasting. Let's see what time he ends up putting down. And I can't tell where he is on the standings.
Cedric Hunter was 17th after 2 laps there.
Gotcha.
Following Josh Kanata around, one of the league administrators here, allowing us to come out every Monday night. First time by for Josh, going to be 19th for driver number 16. Josh is kind of one of those drivers, Chris. I realize that, you know, you've been kind of on and off with the Monday night thing here, but Josh is kind of one of those drivers, just is able to stay out of trouble on a weekly basis, and more times than not, at the end of the race, he'll be one of the contenders just from attrition. And when you talk about attrition, I think Martinsville is probably the best place to talk about that at.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said before, it's really just a fight of consistency here and staying alive, to be honest.
About 10 seconds remain in qualifying, and it does look like Ryan Bird is going to snatch the pole away out here this evening. We're going to wait. No cars out on track right now. And qualifying going to be done and away. Pole position going to go to Ryan Bird. Chris Stitt's going to make up the front row here. His driver's going to get a 5-minute warm-up session out here, and that's going to give us our pole award and pole sponsor out here this evening. We're going to chat with somebody during this 5-minute warm-up here. Let's see if I can't grab our pole sitter and grid sponsor. That's going to be, as always, sponsored by Blazing Fast TV. If you're looking for a chill and relax stream, head on over to Blazing Fast TV on Twitch and YouTube. Check out Dakota Moniz as he races. Drop a follow, subscribe, stay up to date when he goes live and posts content. Wonder if Dakota's streaming out here tonight. That Martinsville would be a fun race to stream from a driver's perspective for sure.
Can definitely check that, honestly. Hold on. Dakota actually is out here streaming tonight.
All right, well, head on over to his channel. Stay here, but also go check his channel out. One thing I'm noticing out here, our points leader coming into tonight's event, Jared Talmadge, not present So an opportunity for Chris Stitz, Justin Campbell, Ali Fonseca, Nolan Hicks to possibly take a shot at the points lead by the time we exit Martinsville here this evening. Let's grab our poll sponsor here. Let's see if Dakota is here in the car. Dakota, how you doing tonight? All right, we'll try that one more time. Move him around, come back. Dakota, you here? All right, possibly Dakota may have stepped away right there, and I didn't really look. We'll put him there. I wasn't sure which channel he was previously in before we got going, but a couple of minutes remain out in Martinsville. And, you know, Chris, I mean, we think about Martinsville and we think about tempers. I mean, we've seen our fair share of tempers here on a Monday night in these O'Reilly cars. Some very close race, and that's just kind of the product that they put on.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, Martinsville is one of those tracks where you can be aggressive and race really close if you want. But like I don't know, I've emphasized it so many times. Just I guess because I don't have the greatest luck at Martinsville, but staying alive is really the biggest thing here. As you see, I believe that's the 17 car trying to do the Ross Chastain at the top of the track.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Drivers, no stages as usual, but 150 laps here in front of them. That's the challenge that they have tonight. 150 laps of racing before we see the checkered flag. 3 green-white checkers if we do need them. We've needed them a couple of times throughout the season in the Trinity Racing League, and I tell you what, let's try one more time. Let's try grabbing. I see this driver out on track. We got enough time. Let's grab Josh Stovall in the 1. Josh, Tom, and Chris down here in the booth. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm great, brother. How are y'all?
We're doing all right down here. I tried to grab Dakota, but I think maybe he ran to grab a drink or something, so I said, let's try grabbing Josh. Josh, I mean, Martinsville, you either love it or hate it. Where do you land?
I love it. It's action-packed. It's fun. It's beating and banging, which I guess I'm kind of known for in this league, so I'm excited to, piss some people off tonight.
Yeah, I think that nose on that one machine probably going to get some use here tonight. We'll see how your race goes, but before we let you go, any strategies you wanna let us know that we may see the one do?
Well, I noticed during practice the right rear was kind of getting burned off a little bit, so I'm gonna try to save the right rear tire and then work my way forward. Let's put on a show tonight and have fun.
All right. Well, best of luck to you, Josh. Hopefully, we get to chat with you at the end of the evening. And where were you at? You were with Yin Yang?
Wide open.
Wide open. There we go. That's close enough. One channel off. Drivers get set to make their final 40 seconds or so of the 5-minute warm-up session that they got out here. Brandon Gass, Nolan Hicks, and name that we didn't say in practice here, Chris. 28 on the timing tower, but number 13 on the side of his car. That's going to be Tyler Reef, new name to the Trinity Racing League, one that I'm unfamiliar with. 3rd in warm-up.
You know, I've seen his name somewhere else. I don't know if it was in here, one of the last times I broadcast, or if it was in one of the official races, but I do recognize his name, and I believe he's a pretty good driver.
All right, well, checker flag going to come out over the half-mile paperclip here. Fans are making their way back from the hot dog stands, and we are about set to go. Brandon Gass going to be fastest in the 5-minute warm-up that we got out here. Chris, let's bring up our starting grid and get set to begin tonight's event from Martinsville Speedway. For 150 laps, Ryan Berg going to be the pole sitter out here this evening. To his outside on row number 1 going to be Chris Stitz. Row number 2 is made up of Vincent Sora and Justin Campbell in the number 2 car. Ryan Kelly rounds out the top 5 with Christopher Norris in 6th. 7th place belongs to Noah Steele with Ali Fonseca in 8th. 9th place belongs to Brandon Gass, and the top 10 is rounded out by Thomas Green.
And in the 11th position, you have Josh Duvall in the 1. In the 12th position, you got Nolan Hicks in the 86. Cody Reed in the 25, coming in 13th here. 14th is going to be Thomas Walter in the 57th. Tyler Reef in the 28 car, he's going to be in 15th. Aaron Kralik in the 01 going to be in 16th here. 17th is going to be rounded out by Cedric Hunter in the 7 in that Hello Kitty machine. Then we got Dakota Muniz in the 5, and he's going to be starting in 18th. Joshua Kanata in the 16 and 19th, as well as Scott Ricard in the 05, rounding out the 20th spot.
21st belongs to Larry Yingling out here this evening. Stephen Clapp rolls off 22nd. Ben Kinney in the 51 comes home in qualifying in 23rd. Mark Labertone in the 42 rolls off 24th out here. And then rounding out our field of 28 drivers doing battle out here this evening, 25th belongs to Josh Sawyer. Clint Cox in 26th. Chris Stamper and Martin Morales Jr. Drivers electing not to take a qualifying time here in the 5-minute qualifying that they were given. So gonna be an uphill battle for those drivers down there. You take a look, Clint Cox, Chris Stamper, Martin Morales Jr. gonna have their work cut out for them, but they got some time to get it done. Field gets set to line up behind the iRacing.com pace car, and they're going to be told to grab a gear, and we will likely do 2 pace laps around this half-mile paperclip before we get green flag racing for the first time this evening. But it's going to be led by Ryan Bird and Chris Stitz and Vincent Sawyer. Where do you like to qualify here, Chris? Obviously, if you can start up in the front, that's going to be your better option. But if you think you got maybe about a 10th, 15th place car, would you rather kind of just hang out in the back or get whatever track position you can?
Honestly, yeah, I'm probably just gonna keep. If I'm calling in the route like the middle of the pack, I'm definitely just gonna keep it clean, run the tires well, just keep the car safe, and try not to get caught up in anything. To be honest, can't really be very, very aggressive that early, especially starting in like the middle of the pack.
Lights are out on top the iRacing.com pace car, but I would imagine we're going to go around one more time. Yes, we will. And the field of 28 drivers going to see the 1-to-go signal this time by Ryan Bird on the inside of row number 1, Chris Stitz on the outside of row number 1. We'll see how long these fenders can stay clean for this evening as we get set to go racing here tonight. 150 laps, as stated before. Drivers can probably go about 110, maybe 120 laps on fuel, so don't imagine that fuel would be too much of an issue out here, but we talked with Josh just a couple of minutes ago, and he was saying that that right rear was starting to come apart on the longer runs, so we'll see how it goes as the pace car, we anticipate, going to make a hard left-hand turn down pit road, and we're going to go green flag racing this time.
Here they go as they get ready to go green. All their heart rates are racing right now, waiting for this green flag to drop. Everybody's going to file up here, get real close, probably see a little bit of bumping. Green flag drops, hit the loud pedal. They're all going now, entering turn 1.
Ryan Bird on the inside, Chris Stitz on the outside. They're going to fight to get single file by the time they get to turn 1. Some of them will make it happen. Some of them will not make it happen by the time they get down here into turn number 1. But we get through the first half of tonight's race without incident. Ryan Bird able to take the race lead, move Vincent Sora up to second place as he battles Chris Stitz, who has lost a spot here in the opening laps. Wasn't able to get down, and he's going to lose a spot here. He's going to find a spot in front of the 13 of Ryan Kelly and right in front of the 2 of Justin Campbell.
Yeah, getting down to the bottom here at Martinsville is really, really important as it's an extreme bottom feeder track. If you get caught out on the top, you're going to just start getting rolled back very, very slowly. But if you're just able to keep it down on the bottom and hold that other car back, you're just going to be able to hold your position great and not really move around as much.
A little bit of a slide for Justin Campbell on the exit of turn number 2, but he carries on without issue as he's going to have Ryan Kelly to his inside. Up at the front, Ryan Bird, Vincent Sora, Chris Stitz. Those drivers have established themselves as the top 3 as they run right now. First battles happening out on track. Just a little bit behind the race leaders, you got Christopher Norris and Ali Fonseca down this very short backstretch here into turn number 3. Ali Fonseca in the less preferred lane. They give the advantage to the 38 of Christopher Norris. By the time they get to the start-finish line, Ali Fonseca does a defensive move on the front stretch there, finds his way down, and now Ryan Kelly in the outside lane.
Yeah, Ali was able to get down real low to that bottom line before the 38 could. Probably threw the 38 off guard a little bit. And see, I mean, you could probably see a product of that with the time difference. But it was a really, really good move there from the 24, honestly.
It really was, and it's kind of the move, right? You know, you play fair or foul, and I think anytime you come to Martinsville, a lot of the fouls that would be fouls somewhere else have to be fair here, because if you don't take that opportunity to get down and somebody else is going to get that spot, I mean, we saw it happen with Chris Stitz on the opening lap. He lost a spot or 2. And, you know, I mean, it's one of those things that you need to trust the driver that you're doing it to and hope that they give you a little bit of room. And luckily, everybody realizes it's early in the race, and we carry on without incident.
Absolutely. Seems to be a little bit more gaps filing out in the pack here. Not as much aggression. It's probably going to be like that for the first, I want to say probably about 50-something laps. We're not really going to see a heel. Right as I'm saying that, 38's getting bumped by the 8er and almost goes around. What a save. And they are able to keep on filing and going right there.
Yeah, but that's the kind of thing that drivers can come together. We'll try to grab a quick little replay of that moment there with Christopher Norris, and who was that? Was that Josh Stovall? No, it was Noah Steele in the 8 directly underneath him. A little bit of contact there. That's kind of just a product of Martinsville racing, that drivers will have to keep the tempers in the back pocket all evening long, because if you get upset over something like that later in the race, they're going to be a lot harder. The give and take is going to turn into a grab and go, as we got a yellow flag out. Thomas Green goes around. Also, yeah, Larry Engling, it looks like.
Caution early here at Martinsville. They were able to get by a few laps, honestly, and it seemed going pretty well. But let's see what happened here.
All right, following the 57 of, where are we at here?
It's just up in front, coming off the corner now.
Looking for the 3 of Thomas Green, the 57 of Thomas Walter directly in front of them. Looks like there's just going to be a little bit of a stack up on the exit of turn number 4. Maybe a little bit of bobble from, I want to say, maybe, was that the 57 of Walter? We'll take another look at this at speed. Yeah, he's going to get loose. That's going to send Tyler Reef into the back of him. That's going to collect Larry Yingling in it. But a lot of drivers, this had the potential to be a lot bigger than what it was. But Thomas Green, Larry Yingling. Let's take a look at Larry's implications here.
Larry didn't look like he had a lot of time to react at all. Yeah, he was clear, and then the 3 started moving up. Unfortunately, I don't think the 3 realized that it was going to be too wide coming down. But that was just really unfortunate. Yeah, the 57 seemed to just get a little bit of wheel spin off the corner. Ended up stacking up the entire line behind him, and it was just, it's just a product of, it's kind of like an accordion effect right there.
As we're under the first caution out here this evening, looks like the majority of the field gonna stay out. One driver on pit road, that is Larry Yingling, perhaps getting some damage fixed before we go back green flag racing. But lights still on the pace car. 1 incident for caution, but really kind of surprised that the first 11 laps or so we saw drivers really kind of work together to get single filed out. At least in the top 15 or so, there were some side-by-side battles happening towards the back of the field. We'll see how this restart goes. Remember, drivers do have the choose rule here, so they can elect from any lane back. They can elect to take either the top side or the bottom side for the restart. And expecting to see the lights go out this time. Looks like Ryan Bird going to take the inside line here.
And that's the one really good thing about Martinsville. The caution laps are super fast, so if somebody has an issue, they go by like that. Looks like a lot of people are electing for that inside line, though. We already knew that was going to happen, though, with how bottom feed of this track is.
Pace car on the backstretch. The majority of the field trying to get caught back up. We are going to see the lights come back on one more time. Allow the field to get stacked up. Bring all 28 drivers together. Let's take a look. While we have an extended yellow here, Larry Yingling was the only car on pit road for damage.
It seemed like he came off pretty clean off that hit on the 3. On the replay, it didn't look like he had a ton of damage, and it seems like he's still on the lead lap. So hopefully that car is going to still be fine for this whole beginning of the race.
Yeah, I think Larry's going to be okay, but he's going to have a long way to go. Down a bunch of spots from his qualifying position. Started 21st out here, involved in the first incident for cause here this evening, and looks like he's going to be restarting back in 27th. Maybe make it 26th, I guess, depending on how they line up. But Ryan Bird, a new second-place car up on the outside. That's going to be Vincent Sora in the Ford Mustang.
Getting ready here. Like I said, heart race we're running. They're looking for that loud pedal green flag drops, and there they go.
Barney's going to send them on their way. Everybody's going to come up through the gearboxes 4 gears strong. Ryan Bird not able to protect the inside lane, but Vincent Sora is going to make that outside lane work here on this restart, working lap number 16, 8 miles into tonight's event. Ryan Bird's going to lose the lead from this restart with a powerful move from the outside lane of Sora. Third place on up for grabs between Arie Fonseca and Chris Stitz as they look to get settled behind these two drivers.
Yeah, the 15 made a great move on Bird there. He came down at the end of the corner just to make sure that Bird could not get a good run off. And it really messed up the entire inside line there, honestly. It was really Sora as well as Arie that got a really good run on the outside.
Top 5, 6, maybe 7 have single filed out here or throughout the first lap or two of this most recent restart. We're going to keep a close eye on the battle for the race lead between Ryan Bird and Vincent Sora. Another yellow flag out. Josh Stovall involved in this one.
We did hear him say he was going to be aggressive. Let's hope it wasn't him going around.
All right, let's try to grab Josh Stovall here. Let's see what happens with Josh. Where is Josh? Josh is back here on the backstretch. He's following Noah Steele directly behind. I'm going to say he gets help from behind.
Oh, yeah.
Based on how that car kind of jumped around. So we'll grab another look here with Josh on the one. See him out there on the outside of Brandon Gass right there on the entrance to turn number 3, and I think he's just going to try to turn down maybe just a little bit. Brandon maybe not expecting it.
Yeah, it didn't really look like that was very intentional. It looked like the one just came down a little bit like he missed time blocking the car below, and it seemed like the car below could not just get slowed down in time.
One more look at it on board with the 29 of Brandon Gass going down the backstretch here, and you can already see Josh starting to come down just a little bit. And this is a classic case of how wrecks happen in Martinsville. You try to slide down, you try to take that spot, you try to take the inside line away. But he's going to be able to just barely get clear of Noah Steele there. You know, Noah was just like, what just happened? But driver's going to make their way around. Looks like a single car incident, mostly only. Josh Stovall, from what we can see, will keep one other eye as the field makes their way through without incident. All right, so a handful of laps into tonight's race so far. If you're Vincent Sora, you're now the race leader. You now get to choose whether you want the inside line or the outside lane, Chris. You just took the outside lane 5 laps ago from the outside. How do you do you take the outside again here?
Honestly, I mean, if I were him, I'm taking the outside again. Especially if you're able to work that corner the same way he did with the with Bird with the 48 49. If he's able to pinch him off the corner, or, well, you know, if he was on the top, if he was able to pinch the bottom line off the corner again, it would definitely give the outside line a good run.
On what I would imagine to be the 2 lap to go signal out here, so I would imagine that we're going to get the choose here, though it already looks that like drivers may have already chosen at the 2 to go, so we'll see if drivers maybe move around here at the start-finish line, but they already look like they're pretty well formed up by the time we get to the 1 to go signal here as the lights go off on the iRacing.com pace car. Vincent Sora now new second-place car. That's going to be Arie Fonseca on the outside of row number 1. Ryan Bird elects to take the inside lane here for this most recent restart.
Probably going to see if he can do a little bit better job on the inside line, try to hold off the outside line. He's going to try to do the same thing that Bird did last restart and just get a good run off the bottom.
We get set to go racing. Once again, pace car down and out of the way. We're going to come into the restart zone, being led by Vincent Sora. Arie Fonseca now up on the outside lane. Outside, trying to take as much room away from the inside as possible, but not going to happen, as Vincent Sora is going to be able to jump out by about a nose length here. That's going to allow second place to jump over to a battle from Ryan Bird and Arie Fonseca. For second, they're going to enter turn number 3 side by side for the majority of the field behind them.
You know, this isn't really what Arie wants here. He really wants to clear the 49 so he can get that clean air and the whole track to run. The more that these two lines run double file behind the leader, the more time the leader's going to have to to create a gap on those two cars in the second row. So
Oh,
they're really looking to figure it out there.
Oh, absolutely. And Chris, I mean, if we go green 30, 40 laps, we're going to be talking about lap traffic all night tonight. And, you know, we get into kind of this conveyor belt kind of system where the leader is always in traffic and really nobody has clean air. Even as the race leader, you're just the first one to get to those cars. And in a lot of ways, those drivers are fighting you a little bit harder than maybe what they'll fight second or third place as they try to stay on the lead lap. Top 5 has kind of settled out right now. Justin Campbell on the outside of Chris Stitz in the 17. That's going to be our first side-by-side battle. That's going to be a battle for 4th.
Yeah, the 2 looks to run it on the outside and seems to hold it pretty well into the corner. Let's see if he can get a good run off. He had to check up a little bit. Not sure what happened there, but the 17 is still alongside. Hopefully he's going to get down there on the inside, keep his line, which it looks like he does.
Arie Fonseca staying right with Vincent Sora here. We're keeping a close eye on the interval between first and second. If we see something notable, we're going to jump right over there and bring you right to the battle. But right now, the first battle for position on track is between the 2 and the 17. Directly behind them, you've got Tyler Reeve kind of in the middle of a sandwich here. Now he's got Ryan Kelly on his inside, and Christopher Norris also looking to find a way in and find a spot down. He may have an opportunity here, although he's going to miss turn 3 and lose another spot here for the 38.
The 2 and the 17 are having a really elbows-out battle right now. It seems like the 17 gave it up a little bit just to let the 2 sit down in line, but they were having a really elbows-out battle. They made a few bits of contact on the corner entry as well as exit, and I don't know, it just seemed to be a good battle there.
Takes a lot of discipline and it takes a lot of trust, Chris, to be able to run side by side with somebody like this at any track, really. But you come to a place like Martinsville where contact is almost expected to some degree. But these drivers able to make their way around here without incident, and it looks like Justin Campbell gonna win that battle. Tyler Reeve gonna find his way into 5th. Chris Stitz gonna slot back into the 6th place running position before we see Ryan Kelly in 7th. Other drivers having battles directly behind him. Gonna be Brandon Gass and Christopher Norris. This is a battle for about the 9th place position.
I'm noticing a lot of drivers struggle into turn 1. It seems like they're washing up the track a lot. I'm not sure if that has to do with just the tires or if the track temp's super high, but it seems like a lot of people are washing up into 1.
On board here with Aaron Kralik, let's take a listen to his throttle traces as he makes his way around these 11 degrees of banking. And you can already hear him trying to play with the throttle and try to protect that right rear tire. We were talking with Josh Stovall, who, by the way, was involved in that incident a couple of laps ago, has made his way back up to 20th after coming down on pit road for a fresh set of Goodyears. So a couple of drivers on the move. Larry Yingling involved in one of the earlier incidents, back up to 18, Thomas Green. So drivers involved in earlier incidents here this evening, not out of it by any stretch of imagination, but we're rapidly approaching the 3rd way mark of tonight's race.
As we are, it's already lap 35. I didn't even realize, but everybody seems to be spiled out pretty respectfully right now, honestly. It seems to be that everyone wants to save their tires here.
Slide back to Larry Yingling, one of the drivers that came down, as well as Thomas Green in the number 3. Thomas Green, Larry Yingling, both drivers already down for pit road service, and they have used one of those extra sets of tires that they have. Thomas Green going to get super sideways on the entry into turn number 3 there. He's going to be able to get through. I think maybe that was maybe a little bit of a product of Mark Labertone getting super blinky directly in front of him. But this battle for the lead here, Chris, it hasn't gone anywhere. If anything, it's decreased, as now Arie Fonseca is going to be on the inside of the race leader, Vincent Sora, at the start-finish line.
Yeah, Arie really moved him up the track right there. I'm not sure if the 15 is going to be happy with that. He's probably going to give him a little bit of payback here, but he definitely moved him up the track. Not sure if it was on purpose or not, but definitely moved him up there. But this battle is definitely not going to go away anytime soon, as we see Sora getting into the back end of Finesca, giving him a little bit of payback right there.
A little bit of a bump, and everybody's going to come away without problem. Arie Fonseca going to slide up half a lane. That's going to allow an opportunity for at least one set of corners for Vincent Sora to try to take a look to the inside, but the 24 has a little bit better drive off on the exit of turn number 2, but we are a mirrored image of before. Arie Fonseca, the race leader, going to go around off the nose of the 15. Yellow flag is out.
You know, I had a really strong feeling that was gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll take another look here. I'm not sure if the 24 slid high on the exit of the corner or if he was pushed high, but we'll take another look. But regardless, great job by the entire field. That could have been a 15-car pileup on the exit of turn number 4. Let's grab a replay here. All right, so the race leader's right here. Arie Fonseca, the race leader as it was happening. Let's take a look from the blimp. So Ollie's kind of leaving half a lane here. And then I can't tell if he's trying to get down on the exit of the corner. He might be trying to get down on the exit of the corner. We're going to have to grab another view of that here.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell on that one. It looked like the 15 moved him a little bit up the track, and the 24 was trying to come back down to guard it. But I can't really tell from that angle. Because here the 24 is just loose, and then the 15 looks to the bottom. I think he gets into the rear right very slightly to move him up. And and it's just a big push after that.
There's also a little bit of curb action going on there, so I think there's probably a combination of curb action plus maybe the 24 trying to protect that position as much as he possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely.
But third yellow flag this evening. Most of the field has come down onto pit road. There is one driver that is elected to stay out, and that's going to be the 25 of Cody Reed. Everybody else has been on pit road. The top 5 has been on pit road for service in earlier incidents, from Cody Reed down to Clint Cox, and then from Tyler Reef from 6th place on back, all on pit road here this time for service.
Seems like it's going to be a very interesting restart then. We got the whole top 6 on slightly older tires.
Slightly older tires, but I mean, we've had a couple of incidents here and there, but how much has Larry Yingling, Josh Stovall, Josh Sawyer, Clint Cox used their tires in their attempts to make their way back up through the field? If we run another 20-25 laps here and they can maintain a top 10 running position, this would probably be a net gain for those drivers, but they're going to have to be on their toes for the next 25-30 laps and hope that they can get another timely caution that's going to fall within the window.
Absolutely, because that would absolutely be a net gain for them if they were able to save the tires enough to where they're basically brand new now. It'll definitely be good for them later.
Pace car down and away once again. Third caution comes to an end as we get up to the restart zone. Drivers try to find their way into the right spots. Cody Reed with older tires has not yet stopped in this race, has not yet stopped for service on 44-lap older tires. 25 car going to be leading this race, leading second place battle between Larry Yingling and Josh Stovall, and fourth place directly behind him, Tyler Reed.
It's really looking like the 25 is able to get the power down great. He probably did a great job saving those tires. He's keeping a really good pace on second and third.
Yeah, I don't think second and third is going to be the question we have to answer here. Is we've got almost a 3-wide situation happening on the entry to turn 3. I think it's going to be that 13 on the car, 28 on the timing tower, Tyler Reef. That's going to be the one that once he gets past Larry Yingling, he's going to have 40-lap better tires than Cody Reed, and I think that's really where the difference is going to be told.
Oh yeah, you can even see the speed difference right there. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but the 13 is absolutely just driving it in right there. Well, the 28 actually.
So Tyler Reef all over the back of the race leader Cody Reed, and that lead is going to be up for grabs here in this corner on lap number 47. Tyler Reef with 4 fresh tires. Next driver with tires. Nobody else has really been able to make their way through the field. That's going to be Ryan Bird. He's back in 4th. Make it 5th as those drivers continue to fight their way around the exit of turn number 4. But Ryan Bird, Cedric Hunter, Christopher Norris, those drivers on back. Those drivers have the same lap tires that Tyler Reef, the current race leader, has. So we'll see who is able to be the first one to get through. Cedric Hunter up 12 positions from his qualifying spot here.
He's looking to make something done here. It looked like he was on the inside trying to be a little bit aggressive, but the 38 came down to block that, unfortunately.
It absolutely is. And now if you're Chris Norris, if you're Ryan Bird, it's so frustrating right here because you're behind 2 cars, and I guess you can make 3 wide work here. It may come at the expense of somebody, but if you're Christopher Norris, if you're Ryan Bird, as we have a yellow flag out here, it looks like maybe Stephen Clapp, you get stuck behind a 2 wide situation and you just can't go anywhere. Most recent yellow flag comes out on lap number 49, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be for Stephen Clapp. Let's go back here. On the entry into turn number 3, he's got Brandon Gass directly behind him, Vincent Sword directly in front of him. Little bit of a tap to the 15 to the left rear, and the 9's going to get the worst of it. Brandon Gass also going to get some significant damage, even for Martinsville standards, through that most recent incident. Let's grab another view with Steven here and kind of see what happens here. So he gets down here into turn number 3. A couple of cars maybe getting sideways in front of him.
Yeah, it looked like they were starting to get sideways in front of him, and he just was trying to check out for them, and then got a little bit of a push from behind. That's what it seemed like, at least.
Car looks mostly okay for Steven. Some drivers on pit road here as we approach the third way mark through tonight's event. Chris Stitz on pit road, Josh Stovall, Stephen Clapp, Josh Sawyer, Martin Morales, all drivers on pit road. Tyler Reef and company up front, they're going to stay out here. So it looks like the first driver. So Cody Reed elects to stay out once again.
Very surprising that he's staying out, honestly. He only lost 1 position, but still, he's still on way older tires than a lot of these people. I'm very surprised that he's staying out.
Well, you know, I mean, once you put yourself into a position like this, Chris, I mean, you almost kind of have to wait until the leaders want to come back down on pit road. They just came down on lap number 40, so, you know, I mean, if they do another 40 laps here, the next time that they would expect it to be on pit road would be around lap 80, not for fuel, but if the way that the cautions fly. If you're Cody Reed right now, I don't think that you can put yourself in the back, because everybody, as far as I can tell, I think everybody is still on the lead lap here, so you would lose 26 positions here if you were to come down on pit road.
Yeah, that is very, very true. He probably just wants to keep more of the track position here, because it is very, very hard to get track position here at Martinsville. Got to do a lot of aggressive driving if you want that.
Tyler Reef elects to take the inside for this next restart. Cody Reed's going to be up on the outside. Larry Yingling, Larry in that 67's having a pretty strong showing out here this evening. Going to be restarting from the inside of row number 2 with Christopher Norris to his outside. We get off of turn number 4 and into the restart zone we go. Tyler Reef on the inside. He's going to put the power down without issue. Cody Reed's going to look to protect that inside line going into turn number 1. Not going to be able to do that. We've got Larry Yingling on the inside and a yellow flag back out for an incident on the restart. I'm not getting...
25 is just counting up these caution laps, just hoping it gets closer and closer to the pit window.
All right, we're gonna have to do one of these because I didn't get a notification of who was involved in an incident, so we may have to take several looks at that, and I think we've got a pretty good view of it to begin with. Who's gonna be back there? Let's take a look at Martin here. All right, so on board with Martin. Something's going to happen with the 16 directly in front of him. I think the 01 of Aaron Krolick's going to go around. He's going to go around. He's going to collect the 03 of Clint Cox. Thought it was going to be a bigger incident, but those drivers mostly get it done without incident there.
It seemed relatively tame.
Kind of a little bit of a staggered 3-wide situation on the entry into turn number 1. And that is sometimes how it will go when you have a restart like that. But Cody Reed, once again, unexpectedly, he's going to stay out once again. One of the drivers that's interesting here, Chris, Larry Yingling in the 67. We talk about all these drivers who came down on lap 40. Larry came down on lap 12 once he was involved in that first caution here. So some older tires on that 67.
Yeah, and honestly, it's really impressive that he's got it back up to second right after getting involved in that incident. But like I was saying before, I wasn't sure if he had too much damage, and it doesn't seem like it's affecting him as much. So that's really good for him to be up here, and especially on a little bit older tires than a lot of these drivers. Lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car. Looks like we're going to be going green about this time around. Wasn't really counting the caution laps, but I do believe we're going green this time. And it looks like we've got Tyler Reif as well as Larry Yingling starting in the first row. We're getting ready to lead these two lines going.
Yeah, Tyler Reif elects to take the outside lane here, something that we saw work earlier in tonight's event. And with about 28 lap better tires, we'll see if he has any issue protecting that inside line on this restart. A little bit of a stack up on the outside line. Everybody carries down into turn 1 without issue. Tyler Reif able to get down, protect the lead. Larry is able to take second place. Yellow flag is out. Josh Sawyer, maybe Ben Kinney for this most recent one. Let's try to grab. All right, we see the 51 there. Let's take a look at this one and find out. We saw a little bit of a stack up on the outside. Is that the 5 of Dakota? On the inside. Yeah, the 19 Josh Sawyer and the 51 of Ben Kinney just going to make the slightest bit of contact getting into the corner. Let's go on board here with the 19.
Yeah, it seems like maybe tires just caught him off guard. I'm not sure. That was just unfortunate.
Just a handful of races remain, Chris, before we get to the playoffs. Playoffs going to begin on April 20th out here. Next week, we're going to be at the road course of Sonoma Raceway. We're going to be taking a trip out west. Then we're going to be at Charlotte, Dover, and then finally, before we begin the playoffs, we're going to go out to Talladega. Talladega Super Speedway to end the regular season. Top 16 drivers going to make their way into the chase, which is only going to be 5 races of their chase. So the points start to matter a little bit more than they did every week before it, but next week at the road course of Sonoma, that's one that if I'm a driver, you're either looking forward to the road course or you're not looking forward to the road course. I know I would not be looking forward to the road course as a driver. I have a tendency to throw some dirt and some grass on the track.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, there's very few short tracks that I do actually look forward to. Not for short tracks, road tracks that I look forward to. But for example, like Watkins Glen, I always look forward to. Like, when we ran Canadian, I looked forward to that. But a lot of times, like tracks like Sonoma or Coda, I definitely have a very hard time driving.
They're not easy tracks to drive, that's for certain. But they're going to be doing 62 laps around there next week. But we have a question to answer before we get out to Sonoma, and that's who's gonna take home the trophy from Martinsville Speedway here tonight. Tyler Reif, the race leader on the outside of row number 1. He's going to be the control car with Larry Yingling to his inside. Row number 2 going to be Cody Reed and Thomas Walter by the time we get down into turn number 1. Tyler Reif again with another commanding restart here to take control of the race. Once again, Larry Yingling trying to protect the inside lane. He may be able to, but Cody Reed still has not stopped for service on 65 lap older tires than the majority of the field.
Yeah, very surprising by him, and he's still being very competitive up there too. He's looking to take the spot from Larry right now. They're both on older tires as well. Obviously, Reed's on way older tires than Yingling, but they are probably going to have the closest fight on the field when it comes to worn tires.
Larry Yingling on the inside, Cody Reed on the outside as we go down into turn number 1. Christopher Norris says, one of you guys figure it out and one of you guys let me through. Nobody gonna give up by the time they get on the exit of turn number 2, but Christopher Norris tries to get around because every lap that they run side by side like this, that allows a little bit more room for Tyler Reif to breathe, now up to almost 0.3 of a second lead over second place, Reed and Yingling.
Still trying to duke it out here, figure out who's going to be in second for here, chasing down Tyler. They're both being really aggressive, trying to just fend each other off, and this is some good racing that we have here.
Yeah, it really is. Christopher Norris being super patient with these drivers, and I think the patience is starting to run thin as Christopher Norris going to take a look to the inside. We're going to have a 3 wide situation on the exit of turn number 2. The 67's almost going to go around. He's going to go around off the nose of the 38. Nolan Hicks going to come in, get some damage. I think Mark Labertone probably also going to get some damage as well, and possibly Ben Kinney. But we see some heavy smoke out of Larry's car there, and I think that may be night over for driver number 67.
It does unfortunately look like a night ender there. We could see he was fighting really hard to save that car. I was very, very hopeful that he was saving it. It looked like he was, but a little bit of contact into that outside definitely just messed up the whole flow of saving it.
All right, so contact initially between the 38 and the 67. Cody Reed kind of just in a bad spot there, nowhere to go, can't go any higher than the wall will allow you to go. And I thought maybe here he might have been okay, but he's got some cars coming at full speed, and the track it's already very narrow, but you can see just how narrow it gets. Only maybe really only one usable lane here, but Nolan Hicks in the 86. Josh Stovall going to get a little bit of damage there. Chris Stitz, I think Chris is going to get out of here okay without any problems on that number 17. But incident here on lap number 70 as we begin to approach the halfway mark of tonight's event. Let's take a ride on board here with Nolan, and this one's going to hurt.
Yeah, man, it's just like, where do you even go at that point? It was really just last second, unfortunately, for him.
You know, one thing that I caught riding on board with Nolan here. Let's take another ride. So he's pretty much full throttle on the exit turn number 2. You see a little bit of smoke up there, but as soon as he sees the 67 sitting sideways, he gets on the brakes. So he does come in there very hot, but as soon as he has visibility to it, right there, he's on the brakes, and unfortunately, a little too late to stop for the 86.
Yeah, that definitely seems like him and the 67 just have, honestly, easily the worst of it.
All right, pace car down and out of the way. Tyler Reeve, Christopher Norris, now new drivers on the front row here. Christopher Norris on the inside, Tyler Reeve still the control car on the outside, going to be the race leader. As we complete the 7th caution out here, we're going to begin lap number 74 here of 150. So just about the halfway marker of tonight's event. Tyler Reeve going to jump down, take the race lead. Christopher Norris close in tow, and now Cedric Hunter putting that number 7 up towards the front of the field here, about halfway through the race.
Yeah, Cedric's been looking very strong here. He's moved up quite a bit of spots from his qualifying position. Now up in the podium, looking to keep that podium position. And honestly, it'll be a good night for him if he does.
It really is. And driver not here tonight. That's going to be Sam Garcia. Halfway bonus point going to be awarded to, it appears to be Tyler Reeve, as he's going to lead lap number 75, lead the halfway marker of tonight's race. That's going to bring us to our halfway bonus sponsor. That's Apex 50. If you're looking for a fun and relatable sim racing content, head on over SG_racing. Has you covered. Check out Sam Garcia's Apex 50 on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and the Twitch. Apex 50, always a great partner here, as is Blazing Fast TV and Larry Arts Productions here, helping us keep the lights on every single Monday night to bring you the action every single week from the Trinity Racing League. Driver going backwards here, Chris. Been keeping an eye on this 25. Still has not stopped for service, and I think he's probably going to be looking for one more caution at a minimum to bring the rest of these leaders down here back down to 9th place after having a little bit of damage there with the 67 on this most recent yellow flag, but the 25 going in the wrong direction.
You know, I really was just about to mention that. You got to wonder if he got a little bit of damage from a little bit of that contact with the 67s. Maybe that car is turning a little bit worse than it was, but it's definitely turning worse with the tires being worn. So he's definitely looking for the caution, like you were saying.
You know, and it's something that you wouldn't necessarily think would be an issue here, right? But you and I have raced together in other leagues, right? And recently, you and I got more familiar with the O'Reilly cars and the nose. If you get some damage on these nose, these cars will overheat more than expected, right? I was overheating at Phoenix a couple of weeks ago. Phoenix is not a track that you would typically expect to overheat at, so you also got to keep an eye on the temperatures here if he has any damage on that Toyota Supra's nose.
You know, that's really interesting that you bring that up. I haven't really noticed that. I have when it comes to the spotter calling out the temps, but honestly, I never really put those two and two together. These cars do really overheat a lot quicker than the trucks do.
If the spotter's calling it out, you might want to pay attention. Might want to pay attention to that. But yeah, Cody Reed, I would imagine most of this is just based on, not stopping yet 4 tires, but something, a nuance about these O'Reilly cars, they will overheat a lot faster. Looks like, oh boy, Cody Reed. I think the run for Cody Reed has finally come to an end here. Let's take a look at the 25, 3-wide situation with Justin Campbell on the inside, Ryan Kelly in the middle, and Cody Reed up on the outside.
Hopefully it wasn't the commentator's curse right there.
Cody's going to get a little loose here, 2-wide, 3-wide situation, and just a single car spin, actually. I was expecting the 2 and the 13 possibly to make contact and push the 25 high and wide, but was not the case. Single car incident here for Cody. Let's go on board here with Mr. Reed. A little bit of a lazy spin. He's going to watch the field drive by him here. He's going to go back down to, I want to say, looks like 26 cars on the lead lap, 25 cars on the lead lap here. And unfortunately, I think that was the caution that he was trying to get, as the majority of the leaders have come on pit road. Some of them did stay out, though. Top 3 stay out. Don't come down for service this time.
You know, I was literally just going to say this is definitely the caution he was looking for. It's unfortunate that he had to be caught up in it, but he did a great job keeping it off the wall. I wanted to mention that. I saw him, you could see him try to get on the brakes before the spin started, and then as soon as the spin started and he could see himself going up the wall, he got back on the gas to keep it off, and honestly, that's a really job well done.
Well, we got an opportunity here. As always, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. We talked about Blazing Fast TV for the grid sponsor. We talked about Apex 50 for the halfway bonus sponsor. Let's give a shout out and a big hello to our title sponsor out here. That's going to be Larry Arts Productions. It's their title sponsor. It's a comedy variety YouTube channel. Content ranging from stop motion videos, vlogs, live streams, and more. Check out Larry's channel over on YouTube today at Larry Arts Productions. Getting a notification here about Justin Campbell. I wanted to jump over here just real quick, see if we can find an incident for Justin. He may just come to a stop here. Yeah, he's just going to come to a stop. No issues, but the top 3 drivers stay out here as the lights are out. Christopher Norris on the inside. I do believe he has retaken the lead. Vincent Sora on the outside, and Thomas Green in row number 2. And name we haven't said a whole lot out here, but we talked about it in qualifying. Josh Kanata, that sneaky Toyota Supra, that 16 of Kanata, has made his way up 15 spots.
Yeah, he's probably going to look for a little more here on the restart as well. And you know, it's the best place to be aggressive here at Martinsville.
Into the restart zone we go once again. We're going to be green flag racing. Lap number 88 of 150. Christopher Norris on the inside, Vincent Sora on the outside. We saw the 15 able to take the lead from the outside on an earlier restart here. He's going to remain side by side with Norris down the backstretch into turn number 3. The radius is going to get tight by the time they get down here, but Vincent Sora able to put down the power, and looks like he's going to lead this lap here to begin lap 90.
Looks like they were still alongside for a while, but Christopher wanted to give up the inside line, or sorry, give up the line for the 15 to just be able to drop down. Probably didn't want to keep battling him and let the rest of the field catch up.
Joshua Sawyer having an incident on track. Let's grab the 19. We saw Josh involved in an earlier incident, I believe. If memory serves me correctly, I believe it was with Ben Kinney last time we saw the 19 go around. This time by, it's going to be on the entry into turn number 1. Another single car incident there.
Man, that 19 hit the wall hard. Yeah, car just caught back at the wrong time for him. Just sent him straight up at that outside wall. Seems like the top line is a little bit slick.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of drivers are using it. I mean, you put the right side tires up right there. He gets up in between the concrete and the asphalt that this track has to offer. Ben Kinney barely gets by right there, but he's going to get through, I want to say, without damage, but do want to say that is likely. Yeah, he's got a meatball down there, so that is likely night over for driver 19, an early end to his night.
It's interesting because the same thing happened to Reed. Like his rear right caught the asphalt just a little bit different at a different angle than the concrete. It was definitely a product of the older tires as well, but you could easily see that sent him around. Just the surface difference and grip difference is really putting some pressure on these drivers' gas pedal.
I tell you what, we're going to have to be quick about this. We're going to have to be really quick about this because we're going to have the one to go here in just a minute, but we got to be quick. But let's grab a word real quick with Josh Kanata. We said sneaky 16, found your way up into the top 5 here.
Yeah, took a decision not to take tires there when the rest of the field did. It's definitely going to matter if this goes green for a little while. Just going to try to hold on to the position best I can and try to finish top 10.
All right, well, we've seen some drivers, specifically the 15, able to make the outside lane work on the restarts. What do you think? You learn anything from those leaders up there?
It's definitely something to keep an eye on. I know it's doable. I'm curious to see if the 38 can do the same thing, so have some fun.
All right, best of luck here on this restart. Kick you back up to your team. And we'll see this restart here. 9 cautions down and away. Vincent Sora on the inside. Christopher Norris on the outside. But drivers starting to take note of the different lines here on this restart. Vincent Sora elects to take the inside line here for this restart to begin lap number 94. Christopher Norris going to have to protect that outside lane here as Thomas Green in that white and black number 3 on the inside down here as he looks to take second place away.
Sporting that good wrench scheme, sends it on the inside of the 38 there. Christopher Norris is going to have a little bit of a run there, and he looks to stay alongside, tries to defend that inside line. 38's going to have a hard time getting down and getting that power off on the outside. Looks to be that he clears him, though, and the I believe that's the 28 of Reef trying to follow him with him.
Yeah, we saw Tyler Reef leading some laps earlier here this evening, and we see another yellow flag out here real quick. But Tyler Reef led some laps here earlier in the going, has made his way through the round of green yellow flag pit stops here. Lost a little bit of track position, but he is still the highest running driver with the best tires here. So underneath the yellow flag here, let's see if we can't grab. Not sure who might have been involved in this one. Perhaps Clint Cox. We'll take another look here. Not getting a notification of which driver was involved in this one, but I did see Ben Kinney slow, and, well, that makes 3 in a row, Chris.
Yeah, it's that grip difference. It's really just sending those cars around.
On board with the 51 of Kinney as we're going to go down into turn number 3. And Ben was one of the drivers that he came down on the most recent yellow flag, so kind of a little bit of a surprise there, unless he's just fighting cold tires. But no contact anywhere to send that 51 for a ride. But That's going to burn up a set of Goodyear tires. They only have 4 extra sets, 4 changes to use in the pits, and I do believe that's going to burn one of those for the 51. All right, Chris, so now we're just about 50 laps to go. By the time we get the green flag, it's likely going to be 50 laps or less to go in tonight's event. Vincent Sora, let's set the scene here. Vincent Sora, Christopher Norris, Thomas Green. They last pitted on lap number 40. Is there a window that they can come down here? 50 laps is a very short time.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't think there is. It's really about just keep I honestly don't think there is. I haven't really run enough like super long races at Martinsville to be able to give a great opinion, but it seems to be there's definitely a sweet spot with the tires.
Well, I mean, the challenge is going to be that these drivers, most of these drivers, last came down on lap number 84. I would imagine that most of them, unless something crazy happens, most of them are likely going to stay out for the rest of the race here. But drivers like Sora, Norris, and Green, they have not yet pitted since lap 40, so they've got about 40 lap older tires, and with every caution that goes by and they don't come down on pit road, that clicks off the laps remaining and the opportunities to come down and get on equal tires.
Here they go again on the restart. Seems to be getting through all the turn 1 and 2 very, very well. Clean for everybody. Here we go with the groundhog cam.
Lap number
very
100.
close to the wall.
Yeah,
for that M&M's car.
Absolutely. Lap number 100 in the books, led by Vincent Sora here as we have 49 laps of racing to go here this evening in the Trinity Racing League on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. Vincent Sora pulling away by about a half a car length on the front stretch here. He's got Christopher Norris close in tow, Thomas Green and Tyler Reef on the outside trying to put those 40 lap better tires to use. If I'm the 13 right now, 28 on the timing tower, if I'm Tyler Reef, I like my opportunity here, and I don't like that, but I like my opportunity here having the best tires and maybe setting my sights on the race leader, but he's going to lose a couple of spots in this most recent corner. Oh, and he's also going to go around.
Yeah, there he goes. Yeah, I was just about to say that he's going to have to use those tires and be aggressive, but I saw the 3 wide coming at the entry, and I knew it was not going to go well.
Yeah, I think he was setting himself up in a pretty good position right there, because we've seen him use the outside lane here this evening so far. So let's first take a look at it from the blimp cam. He's got Noah Steele, Ali Fonseca, 2 cars directly below him in a staggered 3 wide situation. And yeah, I mean, he's just going to come down there a little bit. Nowhere for Ali Fonseca to go. I guess Noah Steele could have given another half a lane at the most, but
yeah, I honestly think the Tyler Reef, the 13, honestly didn't really do much wrong there. It seemed to be like he was just coming down to run a little bit of a closer line to the 24, and unfortunately the 8 ended up sliding up slightly and moving the 24 up. But obviously nothing purposeful, just hard racing.
Yeah, nothing nefarious, as my friends up in Boston, Massachusetts would say. But Tyler Reef going to go for a single car spin off the nose of the 24 after a 3 wide entry down into turn number 1, and we're gonna restack, repack, and the leader's gonna stay out once again here. I think their bet is made here, Chris.
Yeah, probably. It definitely seems like it.
I'll give a quick shout out to Cedric Hunter. Cedric up 13 spots from his qualifying position out here this evening. Now Cedric is going to be the driver with the newest tires. He pitted on lap number 84 as we wait for, I would imagine this is the one to go here, but now Cedric Hunter puts himself in position to take advantage here of the 3 race leaders directly in front of him.
In a great spot too. Would have preferred slightly to start on the inside here, maybe have a little bit of a better chance at defending the position, but maybe he's looking for the run off the corner to gain a few and then drop back down to the inside here.
Pace car down and away onto pit road it goes. Vincent Sora, Christopher Norris going to be row number 1. Row number 2 is made up of Green and Hunter. We're going to come out of turn number 4. See the restart zone once again. And driver's going to cross the start-finish line to begin lap number 108. Just about 42 laps of racing to go out here. Now, Christopher Norris on the outside of row number 1 had a really good restart, but by the time he got down to turn number 1, lost a little bit of ground to the race leader. That's going to open up the door for Green and Hunter directly behind him.
Green's looking to the bottom of of Norris here, and he's going to be driving it right down to the inside here. Looks to be a little bit defensive towards Cedric here. Cedric ends up sending it down to the inside and seems to make it through very clean with him.
Green able to put the power down on the outside lane, pull up side by side with the 7 as they come down the short backstretch here. Cedric's got to get around him here. 40 laps are going to go by in an absolute hurry here at this half-mile short track is Cedric. Don't believe he's going to be clear of the 3 just yet. But other drivers, Ali Fonseca also on the same tires there. Ali Fonseca. Oh, it looks like we have a bigger incident. Cody Reed, Scott Richter, and Martin Morales. All drivers going to be involved in this most recent incident. Let's grab an incident here with Cody Reed. He's going to be in front of the 91 of Martin Morales, 2 Toyota Supras going down the backstretch. This may actually start a little bit back further with Ben Kinney.
Yeah, it sure seems like it. I saw a little bit of a wiggle from I believe that's the 01, and unfortunately, it seems like he got into the back end of the 91.
On board with Ben Kinney of the 51. Going down the backstretch here, he's got Aaron Kralik directly in front of him here, and he's going to make a little bit of contact with Kralik. And then that's going to kind of send Kralik into Martin Morales. Cody Reed going to get collateral damage in that. One of the yellow cars, Chris Stamper, going to get collected in that. That's it's not very often that you see a wreck occur forwards, but at Martinsville, that's a thing.
Yeah, that was literally just like kinetic energy, just going forward and just turning everyone around.
Couple of cars on pit road for service underneath this most recent yellow flag. Dakota Moniz, Cody Reed, Chris Stamper, Martin Morales on and off pit road for service. He's going to get out. He's going to get out before he goes a lap down here, but one thing that I noticed on this most recent restart here, Chris, was Norris in the 38 had a really good restart, but lost a little bit of ground by the time he got down to turn number 1. I got to imagine he's going to be making some adjustments here for this upcoming restart to try to get a little bit better entry than what he did on the last restart there.
Absolutely. He's going to be looking to maybe break a little bit later, maybe not as early, maybe a little bit later, still be able to keep the car like rotated in the corner. If you break a little bit late, the car at the back end tends to want to go around. So he's probably going to look for the balance between rotating the car and spinning the car on the braking point.
And we've seen some single car incidents out here this evening, so let's not count out the opportunity for mistakes to be made, whether it's from the front of the field or the back of the field. We're going to find out who gets this lead on this restart. Vincent Sora on the inside, Norris up on the outside. Cedric Hunter and Noah Steele on the row number 2. But Vincent Sora gets another good restart here. He's going to press the loud pedal first into turn number 1. Christopher Norris able to keep a quarter panel there just for the time being, but he's going to be cleared by the time he gets off of turn 2.
Yeah, honestly, did a really good job on that restart. Just like how we were talking about, braked a little bit later, was able to keep keep that quarter panel, keep that front quarter panel on the rear quarter panel of the 15. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough for the corner exit. As we see the 8 making a big move here around the outside of the 7, he's going to have a big run off the corner. Looks like he's going to send it here on the entry of turn 3 around the outside as well, and still has a big run off.
Two drivers right there, the 7 and the 8. 7 on the inside, 8 on the outside. Both of those drivers have about 40 lap better tires than the leaders that they're chasing down directly in front of them. Noah Steele tries to take a look to the outside, and he's going to get a nose to the outside of the 38 here. I believe we're going to have a shot here if him and the 38 don't make contact. Or I guess they can make contact and still come out of it okay. Noah Steele, he's going to set his sights here on Vincent Sora. He's got 44 lap better tires. A lot of it's been under yellow flag here, but 44 lap better tires nonetheless.
Yeah, I was gonna say really good move from Cedric Hunter there to get into the back bumper of the 8, move him around, send him to the bottom, get a little bit of a run on the outside, but it just unfortunately ended up collapsing on the 7 and moving him back a bunch of positions after he got touched in the next corner.
Now he's got a little bit of track position here. Let's take a look at the lap times here. We are currently referencing, we'll switch this around, make it a little bit easier to read. Last time by, Noah Steele 7/700ths of a second better. That time by, we wait for the times to come across, about a 100th of a second better for the driver, the number 8, with 40 lap better tires and about 30 laps to go. The clock is soon going to be ticking.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that overlap in wear and pit stops. I guess I stand corrected. The caution is now out.
Yellow flag out. Looks like possibly an incident for... Take a look at Nolan Hicks here. Showing an incident on this lap. Unsure if he was involved in the most recent yellow flag. Lights are still green. Oh, nope. That looks like it's going to be Ben up there. All right, so now we got Ben. Let's take a look at what exactly happens to the 51. Going into turn number 3. Single car incident, just puts the right sides above the concrete down there and into the asphalt. That's going to send the 51 around.
Yeah, it's that product of braking a little bit too late and not getting down the track quick enough to where the back end will just end up swinging out on you because of the surface difference. Just right there immediately, you can see right as he hit that contact with the concrete with the left side tires, the right side back end just wanted to go swing around right there.
Ben Kinney going to make contact with the outside retaining wall. That's going to bring some drivers down on pit road, notably Christopher Norris and the 38. One of the drivers coming down onto pit road for service this time. We're going to have probably about 25 laps to go here by the time we get back to green flag racing here. I think 25 laps is that's going to be quite the mountain to climb here in the closing 12 miles of the race.
Absolutely, but he's going to be on a lot better tires than some of the people at the front of the pack, so he may have a chance to get some of that power down and be a little bit aggressive. But 25 laps is a really quick amount of time here at Martinsville. It's probably going to go by literally like that for these drivers. So.
Well, I think it depends on who you are. If you're Vincent Sori, it's going to take forever. If you're a driver if you're a driver towards the back, they're going to feel like forever. But if you've got fresh tires, if you're Josh Kanata, who last pit on lap 111, if you're Thomas Green, who last pit on lap 111, if you're, who else is down here? Aaron Kralik on some newer tires here as well now. Those laps are gonna click off faster than you want them to. So expect to see the lights go out this time. As they do, Vincent Sora going to take the inside, and Ali Fonseca. He's got 40 lap better tires than Vincent Sora, as does the majority of the field behind the 15. This is where it could start to get really interesting.
You are very right about that. I think the 15 has done a really good job at keeping those tires quick, even with old tires. So honestly, it's a little bit hard to tell, but the big difference of laps on those tires is definitely going to be a big difference.
Field comes through turns 3 and 4. Pace cars down and away. Field underneath the guidance of Vincent Sora. Ali Fonseca on the front row. 40 lap better tires on the outside. And control of the restart on the inside lane. Which one is going to prevail more? Vincent Sora is going to have the momentum off of turn number 2. Yes, he is. Not able to get cleared of the 24 just yet. This is the first time we've seen somebody get side by side with the 15 for the race lead in a while.
Yeah, the 24 got a really good runoff too, and was able to keep a quarter there. And unfortunately, there was a caution out. I was really hoping to see the 24 provide some good racing for that 15. Let's see what ended up happening here.
Looks like Dakota Moniz goes for a ride. Let's take a look at our grid sponsor out here. Take a look at Dakota. He's on the outside of Scott Rickard in the 05. Entry to turn number 3. Martinsville is not a place that I think of single car spins, but that has kind of been the case out here tonight. Sure, we've had some multi-car incidents, but a lot of them have been single car spins.
Yeah, we're seeing a whole lot of that tonight. Just some people slightly missing their braking point, or even maybe keeping the same braking point, just keeping the car a little bit high. And I've said it a million times, but the surface difference is really what upsets the cars the most here. I think it's a combination of the surface difference and the point of the top of the track being a little bit flatter than the concrete, but that definitely is what spins the car around.
All right, let's see if I can do this. I always mess this up when I do this. So we've got our top 10 right here. Can I extend this? I can. All right, so top 15 as they run right now. Lap 40, lap 84, lap 84. Those are the last pit stops for these leaders. You take a look down in 8th, you got Aaron Krolick, 104. You take a look down in 11th, Thomas Green, 111. 14th, Josh Kanata, 111. But they're going to need some green flag laps in order to do anything with the Goodyears.
Yeah, Vincent having over 40 lap worse tires than Aaron as well as Thomas is going to make for really interesting racing once they catch up to him. I mean, and Ollie and Noah and Chris are also going to give crazy racing, but it's just going to be really crazy once the people on such newer tires get up to the front.
Who do you like from this list here, Chris? You like the front of the field here with about 20 laps to go, or do you like the tires?
Honestly, if I'm a driver, I'd probably say the front of the field, just because I'm not very confident in my ability to run super aggressive here at Martinsville. So me personally, I would definitely take track position, but I feel like anybody who's confident with their ability at this track is going to take the tires here.
Well, we're about to find out. Going to have about 20 laps to answer the questions here. Vincent Sora, once again, Ollie Fonseca showed a little bit of promise on the most recent restart. He was the first one to challenge the 15. We're going to get another restart here at the start-finish line. Sora, once again, takes control of this race. Fonseca tries to drive down to turn number 1 and keep a fender there. Is he able to do so? Not just yet. The 15 is going to have clean track in front of him.
24 is definitely going to be looking to the inside, probably into 1 and 2, keeping it clean through 3 and 4, making as much distance as he can. It looks like he's going to make the move here off 3. He's going to be sending it right down into the bottom of 1, definitely trying to get around the 15 here, moving him up slightly. Oh, looks like he got a little bit of help from behind, maybe, I'm not sure, but definitely was able to get him out of the way. Not able to full clear here. 15 is going to have a good run off the corner, and they're going to make very close to the contact in 3 and 4, but seems like the 15 is able to get a better drive off.
Give us 18 laps to go this time by. Fonseca on the inside with 40 lap better tires. Sora on the outside on a tire disadvantage. Let's not count out Noah Steele or Tyler Reef. Both of those drivers on the same lap tires as Ollie Fonseca directly in front of him. If Ollie can't get this position done here in the next lap or two, it's going to bring Noah Steele directly into this mix. It's going to bring Tyler Reef directly into this mix. So 17 laps to go. It sounds like a lot on the tower, but they're going to be clicked off very fast.
Yeah, you got to wonder if the 8 of Steele is definitely just being a little patient here as he gets a little bit of pressure from Tyler Reef there.
Oh, yellow.
You got to wonder if the 8 was going to be a little bit patient there as the caution comes out.
Who had the control of the restart there, because Ollie Fonseca was pretty much nose to nose with him here. That could make a difference here, but it looks like Thomas Walter and Cody Reed going to have an incident on lap 134. Let's go over to Thomas Walter, and then let's go over here. Thomas Walter on the entrance at turn number 3. He's got the 0-3 of Clint Cox running directly behind him. Stephen Clapp in front of him. Christopher Norris on tires behind him as well. 57 is going to slide down, and I do believe we're probably going to see contact between the 0-3 and the 57. Let's grab a better look at that. I switched it right at the wrong time there. Yeah, a little bit of contact there. Going to send the 57 around. Cody Reed, unrelated, also going to go around off the bumper of the 9 of Stephen Clapp.
Yeah, I didn't even see that incident happening. I definitely saw the 57 save it from hitting the wall, though. That was a good save.
So 2 incidents happening simultaneously. Although close together, I would call those unrelated. 2 drivers getting the bumper and sending those machines around the opposite way of the track that they should be going.
Yeah, definitely not at all what Reed wanted to see there. He was probably going to take his time and rework back up to the pack where he would have a dominant position like he did earlier in the race, but definitely not what he wanted or what he thought was going to happen there.
I tell you what, the driver who I think hates this the most is Arie Fonseca. Arie was really in a good position there. He had finally gotten down to the inside, wasn't able to take the lead from the 15. But has shown the most ability to run side by side with the race leader here, and now it's going to be an opportunity for Noah Steele on the inside of row number 2, I presume, before we get to this restart. Let's not count out that number 8.
Yeah, he's probably going to try to be aggressive here on the restart, try to look for the bottom to take that spot from the 24. But yeah, like you were saying before, it's definitely going to be extremely unfortunate and probably the longest part of the race for the 24 because he got into a better position, probably the best position he's been in against the 15, and unfortunately the caution was able to come out for them.
We'll restack, repack. We'll give it another attempt here as the field going to see the green flag once again. Vincent Sora, Arie Fonseca on the front row. What did Arie learn over that last green flag run? We'll find out. Vincent Sora is going to be able to clear for the lead by the time they get down to turn number 1. Noah Steele now side by side with Fonseca on the exit of turn number 2. That allows the 15 to get clear and away by the time they get down to turn 3.
24 slots right down in front of the 8 there. Definitely good spot to be to guard that inside line. 8's going to be looking for that inside line just to keep plowing through the field. Not physically plowing, but keep plowing through the field. And definitely just hunting for that top 3 podium position.
10 laps to go this time by. It's going to be led by Vincent Sora, Arie Fonseca. Now Tyler Reef has made his way up into a tentative podium finishing position out here. But 5 miles of racing, that's what we have left here at Martinsville Speedway. Arie Fonseca was able to keep up with the 15 on the previous restart. A little bit of a gap this time as we have 9 laps to go.
Ollie's really hunting here, trying to get the power down in the best spots he can, get those braking points right, just to be able to gain as little time as he can on that 15. It's really impressive how the 15 is driving with over what, 80? No, not 80 laps, but about 60 laps of tires.
100 lap tires. He last bit on on lap 40. We're working lap 140 now.
Oh yeah. So yeah, 100 lap old tires for the 15 here. Extremely impressive showing for him.
Yeah, and you can see the 15 dancing around on the exits of the corners here, and that's the heat. But I think all these cautions have probably played into the 15's hands, maybe even just a little bit.
You know, I'm wondering if those worn tires are helping that 15 rotate around the corner, because I know these O'Reilly cars definitely sometimes have a problem with getting tight. The rotation of the car seems to be a lot better. The 15, he has a lot more mid-corner speed than the 24. You got to wonder if those worn tires are helping him.
They may be, but you need drive off of the corner here, and I think that's his weak point here. As now Arie Fonseca, 6 laps to go, has caught the rear bumper of the 15, and I think we're gonna have to see a little bit of chrome horn action here pretty quickly, because Tyler Reef in the 28 in third is going to be here very quickly if these two drivers don't get it figured out. Here in the next corner, Fonseca on the inside at the start-finish line. Fonseca not able to lead that lap, but Vincent Sora tries to protect that position as they go down into turn number 1, side by side. 3-car battle for the lead.
Yeah, you can see the 15 really leaning on the 24 there to get as much as an inside line as he can. 24 is doing the same thing right back to him, leaning up to push him up on the outside. We're having a really good battle here in these closing laps of Martinsville.
Tyler Reef sends it down to turn number 1. He's going to hit the 24, who hits the 15, and now that moves the 13 and the 24 to the battle for the race lead. Vincent Sora going to go back to third place. Another bump from the 13 to the 24 on the entry into turn number 3. And the 13 takes over the race lead here with 3 laps to go.
Yo, Tyler is just running people over. That is crazy. You gotta wonder if he's gonna get that back after this caution. You gotta wonder if he's gonna have that medicine come back, because that was some aggressive driving, and it really worked out for him too.
Yellow flag is out over the Speedway, as I believe this is going to send us into our first green-white checkered of the evening. See Ryan Kelly, Brandon Gass, Josh Kanata all involved. Looks like Thomas Walter, Thomas Green. So let's take a look at this most recent incident. Brandon Gass on the inside. They're running directly behind Stovall and Bird. We'll take another look at there. We'll try to back this up here just a little bit. They're already kind of getting pretty close to each other. All right, let's back this up. Maybe just a quarter of a lap here or so. I believe the incident's going to happen down into turn number 3. (29-13) going to be the first ones with contact. Brandon's going to send it in there, make a little bit of contact, and they're going to get through without much incident. And then there's the incident off of turn 4.
Yeah, they almost made it through that, to be honest. It was honestly a strong showing from both drivers to keep it, but it just ended up unfortunate. I believe the 13 was just too far up into that outside wall.
Take one more look on board with Ryan Kelly in the 13. He's going to get the bump from Brandon Gass. We may have been a lap too early here.
I think that was a lap too early, but we might see it here. Might have been a little more than a lap.
Might have been a little bit more. Might have been a little bit more than a lap here, but all right. So now, if you're Tyler Reif, certainly you've got thoughts in the back of your mind here.
I mean, I think he's got a lot of thoughts in the back of his mind, especially with how he was just running those last few laps. He's probably thinking about how do I protect my rear bumper and keep the back on the ground while I have these drivers running me over the same way I just did to them.
Expect the lights to go out this time. Going to give us the 1 to go signal here, and we are going to be in our first green-white checkers. Drivers do have 3 attempts at it here. If we get the white flag, that will be the end of the race. No yellow flag on the white flag lap. If we see the yellow flag before the white flag, we will try it again. Up to 3 times, first one here, so 2 more attempts if needed here in the closing laps of tonight's race at Martinsville Speedway.
Yeah, it's definitely going to get real hot and spicy here for these last closing laps, as the 13 of Tyler Reif, 28 on the pillar is going to be taking the restart here.
Loud pedal down. Everybody's going to get up and out of the way on board with Vincent Sora in the entry into turn number 1. Contact for the race lead. That's going to send Tyler Reif up. Yellow flag out. Chris Stamper has an issue, and I do believe, we'll have to double check that, but I want to say the 15 was in front of the 13 at the time of the yellow flag. Perhaps not, as Tyler Reif has taken the point here underneath this yellow flag, but issues for Chris Stamper. Let's jump back. Chris Stamper looks like he's going to be on the outside there. He's going to, a big issue in front of him. Cody Reed's going to get around. Josh Stovall, Brandon Gass, Martin Morales, Dakota Moniz might get through. Some more collateral damage as they get through. Let's grab another look at that. I saw Cody Reed look like he might have been the first one to go around.
Yeah, definitely, and I think he might have gotten the worst of it too.
Yeah, this is a super difficult position to be in here. I mean, I guess he's going to slide down in front of the 1, and then there's going to be contact between Josh Stovall and Cody on the entry into turn number 1.
Yeah, big hit into that inside wall.
Ben Kinney going to get involved. Big hits to Josh Stovall up on the outside. Clint Cox on the inside, maybe sneaking through. Thomas Green in the 3. There's the other drivers.
What a way to sneak through for Clint Cox on the bottom.
Yeah, seriously. It's not very often we see 5 wide there, or here at Martinsville, but, well, green-white checkered attempt number 2 of 3. And we already saw how Vincent Sora and Tyler Reef are going to go down into turn number 1. This time, though, I would imagine, I mean, they do have the choose rule here. So Vincent Sora could theoretically elect to take the inside lane for row number 2, or Tyler could even take the outside lane for row 1.
You know, I'm really thinking that 15 is going to choose that bottom line just to start to get his get back on the 13 to Tyler Reef. You could see it at the restart.
I think you're right there.
You can see it on the restart, the last restart. He definitely still wanted to move him out of the way. So I'm not sure if that's going to be the same case on this restart, or if we're going to see a little bit cleaner racing. But either way, I'm here for the show.
It's going to be a show. That's absolutely certain. As we do believe pace car going to come down this time. Nope, lights are going to come back on. Lights are going to come back on one more time. Allow the field to catch up. Get everybody in the right spot here. That's the right call. When you're looking at the finish of the race here, you never want the finish of the race to be determined by drivers not being in the right spots.
Absolutely, that's definitely the right call there. I'm not sure if it was the iRacing extended or a league manager extended, but definitely the right call to where everybody will be packed up and bunched up for the restart toward the end of the race.
Tyler Reef having some connection issues here. Over the last 30 seconds or so, he's blinked out a couple of times here. But lights are out this time. Do believe the pace car is going to make that hard left-hand turn down pit road. Noah Steele on the outside of row number 1. Tyler Reef on the inside of row number 1. Vincent Sora, we've already seen contact on the previous restart here. Chris, bring us to this one.
Drivers put the loud pedal down here as the 13 sends it off the line, sending it down to the inside, probably getting some contact with the 15 here. Yep, straight up the track. Absolutely. Ollie's doing the same thing to the 15. Everybody's getting elbows out here. 3 wide.
2 laps to go. 3 wide on the exit of turn number 2. Tyler Reef going to be able to protect the race lead. Arie Fonseca going to make contact with the 13 on the exit of turn number 4, but at the white flag, it's going to be Reef, followed by Sora and Fonseca. Half a mile of racing to go.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see the 24 here probably send it straight into the 13's rear bumper, maybe send it on the inside instead. And it looks like he's going to get there to the inside. Let's see if Arie can do it. Move him up the track. Yes, he does. Looks like Arie is able to get it. Big wreck behind him, and Arie gets the win here at Martinsville Speedway. I couldn't think of the word.
Checkered flag out. Arie Fonseca going to get his first win of the season. We're going to have to get multiple looks at that last lap here. We came into it a little bit late there, but Arie Fonseca got a podium last week at, Darlington, and looks to carry the momentum. Tonight he's going to get his first win of the season, going to make contact with the 13 on the entry down into turn number 3. And then
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, and then from here, it was just drivers crossing the line sideways. Looks like Noah Steele got second. Vincent Sora looks like he's going to be the 3rd car across the line. But Arie Fonseca going to be doing the victory donuts here at Martinsville. Get that man a hot dog. A winner of race number 9 here in the Trinity Racing League.
Yeah, honestly, I really think where he made contact with the 13 or the 28 of Tyler Reef on the backstretch, I honestly think that helped him the most there, because that unsettled the 13 just enough to where the 24 had to run into turn 3 and was able to send it there on the inside and then move him up the track. That was just, honestly, in my opinion, that's really, really good driving from 24. That's really good driving.
I tell you what, let's grab a winner. Last week we spoke about a podium finish. Tonight we're talking about a win. Ollie, 2 weeks in a row we get to talk to you. Congratulations on the win here.
Hell yeah, man! How about that?
That's the energy I love to hear. That was a crazy, crazy last couple of laps there.
Oh yeah, I don't even know where to begin, man. I'm speechless. I cannot. Wow, we did it, man. This one means more than probably any other league win I've had, man. This is the last time we ran here. A lot of guys from the old truck league, they know the story behind the last time I ran here, and especially after getting moved out of the lead earlier in the race, man. Wow, oh man, this is the best feeling, this is the best win I've ever had, man. It's awesome.
You certainly put on a show coming up through the field. You took the lead with about I kind of lost count, but let's call it about 15 laps to go, and then it was short-lived because there was contact between you and the 13 directly behind you. Then you come to these late race restarts, and the green-white checkers here are unpredictable.
Yeah, they sure are, man. I mean, I didn't know what lane to pick, you know, because I knew Vinny was just as ticked off as I was with Tyler there, and you know, I was like, I don't know, man. I might take the top. It was working for me against Vinny earlier, but you know, credit to my spotter and crew chief Brandon. He does everything right, man. He does everything I need him to do. He just reassured me, just take the bottom. You know he's gonna move him. Just be the one to capitalize on it. And man, I can't believe I was able to do it, man. I mean, it got a little rough, but I race people how I'm raced, and I feel like in that aspect it was pretty fair. So I have no complaints, man.
Well, absolutely an exciting last lap here. We're taking one more look at it on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. Before we kick you out of here, we're going to come down here and just look at this last lap one more time down there into turn number 3. A little bit of contact with the 13, and then from there all hell breaks loose by the time you get to the start-finish line, and you're the first one there. Ollie, congratulations on your first win of the season. Before we kick you out of here, anybody you want to say hello to or thanks to?
Yeah, absolutely. It sucks, man. The last time I won this in this league last season, it unfortunately didn't get broadcasted, so it didn't feel the same. But you know, you guys stepping in and you know, doing these broadcasts every week, you know, it means that much more. That, you know, everyone that I care about got to see it. So thanks to my mom, my stepdad, my Aunt Donna, my grandparents, everyone who watches and supports me and keeps me, you know, invested in this league, man. It started as a hobby, but now I do it for them just as much as I do it for myself. So thank you everyone for sticking with me and helping me push through. Thanks to Larry, the greatest sponsor I could ever ask for. Go check out his YouTube channel. He makes awesome, hilarious, funny content all the time. Just got to thank Josh and Nick and the whole Trinity League for keeping this going. I love Monday nights. This is what I live for. It's the only hobby I really have time for outside of what I do for a living. So it makes it that much more meaningful to me. And of course, Brandon, my crew chief and spotter, just again, every single week, he does everything right that I need him to do. So thank you, Brandon, for sticking through thick and thin with me all this time and running all these tests and SMT data and just everything I could ask for. And thanks to you guys for putting these broadcasts on, man. It's a blessing.
All right, Ollie, it's always cool when you can get family involved and it becomes much more than just a Monday night. Congratulations once again on your win here tonight.
Thank you.
All right, and I'm going to kick Ollie out of here. I think if anybody's ready to go celebrate, I think it's Ollie, but I believe...
Yeah, that was a post-race speech is what I've ever heard one. That was really, really good. Congrats to George Finesca. Just kidding, Ollie Fonseca here.
All right, and that's going to bring us to our second place finisher out here tonight. Chris, you got off easy last time you were here at the Trinity Racing League. I'm going to stick you over with Noah Steele, an interview for second place with Noah Steele.
Oh, how you doing, Noah?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm all right here tonight. So let's take us through those last few laps. How did that go here?
I knew it was going to be a crapshoot and just tried to stay out of it. I had a good car all night. I think I had a good pace. It was just track position, man. And then I knew the troubles between the 24 and the 28 on the relative, but 13 on his car was being an absolute douche. So I knew something was going to happen on the end there, and just tried to keep it as clean as possible. Came across P2.
As you did, and honestly, it was a pretty impressive way to come across P2. You came sideways across the line there, but that was a good race, good whole race for you there. Able to keep competitive the whole time and give a good showing out here tonight at Martinsville.
Yeah, I mean, I needed it. Last couple weeks, Darlington didn't go well. Got caught up in some mess, caused some drama, and then I had 2 weeks where my internet decided to go third world country on me, so I had to make up a gap. I mean, last season was really good for me, and this is a result that I should be having, and just finally got the chance to show it.
Well, if anyone knows about getting caught up in some issues, it's me. So I'm glad you were able to come out here tonight and not really get caught up in anything. It was a good showing for you.
Yes, I agree.
All right, and we're going to kick Noah out of here, and that's going to bring us to our third place finisher out here tonight. That's going to be Vincent Sora, who, Vincent, I got to tip my hat to you. You put on a pretty impressive showing on those older tires out there. Almost got it done, just 2 spots short.
Huge hat tips to you.
Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I tried my best tonight. Martinsville is one of my favorite tracks, and it's one that you don't really get to see in a lot of league races because kind of like tonight, just a lot of cautions and hitting one another. But yeah, I decided to come out, tried to defend my 100% win rate, and I almost did it. I knew that track position was going to be super key, so I stayed out under that one yellow because I didn't feel like my tires were that worn, even though I had a damaged car. And yeah, I did a really good job on all the restarts, I think. Shout out to Arie because we raced hard at the beginning and I accidentally got into him and I felt really bad about it. And then he was kind of paying it back there at the end when we were racing. We were just classic Martinsville. We were banging doors a little bit and he was giving me the bumper and I had no problem with that, especially when I was on older tires. I knew he was definitely a little bit quicker than me at that point, but yeah, then the 13 or 26, whatever he is on the ticker, he came in and he just kind of shipped us both for no reason after complaining about the racing standards, and I didn't care for that too much, so I gave it back to him, and then at the end he right reared me and wrecked the whole field. But yeah, no, it was a fun night for me. I think I'm pretty proud of the way I raced, and yeah, I don't know what track I'll come back to next, but had a good time and hopefully I can get another win.
Well, I do have a question I definitely got to ask you. Were the old tires helping you rotate through the corners? That's what it seemed like for me, at least.
I don't know. It was tough. I think maybe like late corner it was helping me a little bit. I had been messing with my brake bias, kind of trying to adapt to the way the car was driving. Definitely getting down into the corner, they weren't doing me any favors. I was just sliding the right rear, and I couldn't get into the corner as good as any of these guys. But yeah, maybe on the exit it was getting me rotate a little bit better than anybody else. But yeah, it was a nail biter for me on all the restarts because with how sketchy it was just so loose down under the brakes. It's kind of the way I was all night, and it was just amplified whenever the tires were worn down like they were there.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, I appreciate you answering that question, man. I was talking about it on broadcast, and I was thinking about it. I was like, that would be interesting if that's helping them rotate more through the corner. So.
All right, Vincent gonna get a third place finish out here after leading with just a handful of laps to go at the half-mile paperclip. Last time we saw you was at Indianapolis, where we saw you taking the checkered flag. Tonight's another podium finish, but Vincent, anybody you want to say hello to back home watching you come home third?
Yeah, just everybody watching the broadcast, all the guys who make this league possible. It's still pretty fun to come back here after last season. Shout out to Arie for getting the win. Like I said, I really hated to move him or to spin him there earlier on in the race because I think him and I were probably the quickest 2 cars here, and we were racing really hard, and I hated to do that. But glad he could get the win. Yeah, and just everybody who makes it possible.
All right, congratulations once again, and hopefully we get to see you soon here in the Trinity Racing League. Vincent, let you go celebrate with your team. As the fans begin to make their way out of the stands, Arie Fonseca doing the victory donuts here. Chris, that was quite the exciting race from Martinsville, and now we're just 4 races to the playoffs.
Yeah, that was a really, really crazy night here. I'm honestly glad you brought me up here for this. It was a lot of fun, and I feel like I tried to do a little bit better at at talking a little more. So hopefully that was a little bit of an added thing there for you.
Absolutely, always enjoy being able to do this with you here on a Monday night from the Trinity Racing League. Let's take a look at your finishing order from tonight's event at Martinsville Speedway. Arie Fonseca, the winner out here tonight. Noah Steele comes home in second. Vincent Sora, the top 3 that we just spoke to. Tyler Reef comes home in 4th. Aaron Krolick, what could have been, had a bunch of lap better tires in that 0-1, going to come home in the top 5. Justin Campbell's going to come home in 6th place with Christopher Norris in 7th. Stephen Clapp, Cedric Hunter, and Chris Stitz round out the top 10. And on the outside of the top 10, it's going to be Scott Rickard in 11th. 12th place belongs to Clint Cox. Ryan Bird is 13th with Ryan Kelly in 14th. Thomas Green in the 3 comes back here for Martinsville, comes home in 15th. Martin Morales Jr., the race sponsor out here this evening, finishes 16th, makes his return to the Trinity Racing League. Brandon Gass comes home in 17th. Dakota Moniz, Chris Stamper, and Thomas Walter, the top 20.
Joshua Kanata in 21st, Ben Kinney in the 22nd. We also have Cody Reed in 23rd, Nolan Hicks in 24th, Josh Staval in 25th, Larry Yingling in 27th, and Mark Labertone in 28th.
28 drivers took to the track, but one driver reigned supreme, and that is Arie Fonseca, out here getting his first win of the Trinity Racing League season. As the playoffs loom closer, Arie Fonseca looks to make his name known as a championship contender. Chris, as always, thank you so much for doing this. Want to thank the Trinity Racing League for allowing us to come out here every single Monday night. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow us. We'll be here every single Monday night. Until next week at Sonoma Raceway, we'll see you then. Have a great week.